go into game one of this set.
Yeah, I mean, I'm seeing a lot of sword gameplay coming out from Skeldra. Fezaru just doing what Yumiko's do. We've only seen one D-Sig, I think, so far. Oh, there's the second one. Catches the Sair to punish the jump. D-Sig for pressure, almost gets the recovery. Wow. Skeldra just showing how to avoid these SIGs. I'm shocked that he didn't get hit by that. He's in a slight disadvantage here, but he's already got Fezaru in red. Damage is even now. He's catching these nairs. Fezaru goes high again, and Skeldra able to get that recovery and get the first stock.
Yeah, just throwing up a ladder of nairs and recoveries, Skeldra. And he's going to be sticking on the greatsword here, noticeably enough. I believe on one of his Twitch streams earlier this week, he said that he was working on his sword gameplay as Fezaru gets that side sig to even up the stocks, because he felt like his sword was weaker in terms of like comparison to his greatsword.
Oh my!
Oh, hang on. Fezaru showing that he's like also can bring out the heavy weapons and get a lot of combo hits. Skeldra evening things up with a sidelight bridge into a sidelight finisher, and Fezaru just they're just like exchanging, like they're like taking turns throwing out 3 hits on each other that are guaranteed to hit. Fezaru going for the ground pound, gets blocked out by the weapon throw. Skeldra picking up the sword, immediately throwing it away because, like I said, he believes that it's his weaker weapon. Gets the recovery on the greatsword, not enough to KO just yet. Goes for the delay back on the sword, and it's not really giving Fezaru a time to adjust to which weapon Skeldra has. And I feel like that's a really good strategy going into it, especially against like something like Hammer, which is can really capitalize on the punish game. Gets the delay recovery, and now Fezaru's on his last stock.
Yeah, Skeldra definitely mixing up his options there and his weapons, keeping his opponent thinking. Catches the dodge there for a greatsword 3-piece. Weapon throw almost catches the dodge in, but he goes for the read in the wrong direction. Just building up this damage with these reads. He's in kill percent now, so Fezaru needs to get him out fast. Yeah, the end light is going to take him off the side, and he's at not too much of a deficit on the last stock here in game one.
Right, but remember, Skeldra is a great sword main. All he needs is one dodge read, and I feel like he would be able to KO Fezaru off of that one dodge read, given enough stage.
This is true. He's already got his opponent in red from the sword, and now he has the greatsword. He's just throwing out these attacks, pretty much just going for whatever hits. The GCD light is almost enough. It looked like he was about to go for something crazy there, but he goes back to stage and gets the recovery, taking game one.
Yeah, Skeldra is quite the eccentric personality. Definitely one of the most entertaining Twitch streamers out there right now. And he also has some meme ability. I don't know if you saw any of the clips of when he was at CEO Daytona, but he's definitely a blast to be around, to say the least.
Indeed. Skeldra taking his time with the bans here, trying to figure out which map he wants to go to, or which maps he doesn't want to go to, I suppose. We're redoing, okay. Oh, that's right, because... Wait. I'm confused. Skeldra was banning, and then we restarted, and Fezaru bans first, even though Skeldra won game one. That is interesting.
Oh, I think Skeldra might have misclicked because I believe the loser of the last game is supposed to ban maps first.
Okay, that makes sense. And then he takes us to Miami Dome. Wow.
Yeah, Fezaru probably wants platforms to try and maneuver around these greatsword moves with, or at least another one to try and navigate a little bit better. So far, working out pretty well now that Skeldra has to calculate those into the game plan. Goes for the stop Sair, but it hits the delay a little bit too low. Fezaru getting the side sig read, KOing Skeldra within the first like 30 seconds.
I must say, Fezaru's bow, I don't think we've seen much of, but his hammer, he just keeps getting these extensions.
Chat, he's cooking. Chat, he's cooking.
I just don't understand. Yeah, he goes for the N-Sig there. It's a bit much. Skeldra finally starting to get some damage, but damage is even, and Skeldra's on his second stock. Fezaru looking like he's about to take that one too. Skeldra goes for the ground pound, just barely missing. He needs to get this punish here. He catches the end light, and Fezaru running out of jumps. slowly falls to his death.
Yeah, Skeldra able to even up the stock count, but Fezaru's already got a lot of extra credit. That Ensig
Oh my!
not enough to KO by itself, but the weapon throw is gonna guarantee it. And now Fezaru's basically lapped Skeldra in damage.
Yeah, pretty much just up an entire stock, just showing us the capabilities of Hammer, even
Oh,
though for
okay.
some reason people think this weapon is
We
bad.
get it.
Oh
We get it,
my!
bro. Your hammer's good. We get it.
Oh
We understand. We can process that your hammer is a legendary. You don't need to be doing all that.
Fezaru looking like the GOAT on the Yumiko Hammer. Wow.
We get it, bro. You're like that. But that wasn't necessary. Skeldra is streaming right now. How do you expect him to explain that to his chat?
Man.
Come
Yeah, that
on.
was hard to watch.
Have some
Wow.
decorum. Be mindful. Be demure. Like, come on now.
Wow. Yeah, I have nothing to say. Fezaru clearly has the download on Skeldra when he has the hammer in his hands. Uh, yeah, Skeldra needs to adapt here. But the set is tied. Skeldra opening up with the greatsword. Hopefully he can build some damage before Fezaru gets started. Gets a little 3-piece on the greatsword. Fezaru going for the D-Sig to open up in neutral. Not really getting anything here. Skeldra kind of playing this a little bit slower. Sitting in center stage, doing a lot of empty hops. Catches the double recovery there. Almost gets the nair. Punishing Fezaru for that landing. And it looks like Skeldra has completely adapted. And he takes the stock here, pretty much doing what Fezaru did to him in game 2.
Yeah, I guess Skeldra just had to lock in. He probably just started mewing or something. I mean, like that's all you really can do after the game ends in such a manner as it did last game.
Yeah,
Like,
I mean, it was
there's
just
no explanation for
domination.
that. You just gotta lock in and you gotta like do it back to him. You gotta do it to him, and that's exactly what Skeldra did with this first stock. But now Fezaru's picked up that beastly hammer again, and now Skeldra definitely being a lot more cautious of these N6 he's throwing out, these Sares. Still gets snared off stage. Recovery gonna be taking Skeldra's recovery weapon throw. You're gonna be denying the GC N6 that Skeldra was about to throw out. Now stocks are even again as Fezaru picks up another hammer.
Yeah, Fezaru pretty much completely evening up the game, but letting Skeldra get these hits. Catches the dare into the recovery and trying to get more started here. The D-Sig gets dodged. He keeps landing with attacks and Skeldra is waiting for that. He punishes the N-Sig, but the second one connects. Luckily, he doesn't get anything after that, and Skeldra catches the D-Light into nothing. I think we had a little bit of a misinput there. Maybe
No,
he's
that
getting
wasn't a
nervous.
misinput. I know Skeldra. That he was trying to get something into that weapon throw he just threw. That was what the pause was there. Goes for the break dance to finish up, clean up that stock. But Skeldra, you need to lock back in because this is not just a normal rank session or a sparring. This is for money, brother.
Wow. Yeah, Skeldra with the lead here, though. It seems like he's completely adapted, going for the GCD light there, unarmed, avoiding the D-Sig, and his greatsword definitely looking much more confident than it looked in game 2. The D-Sig a bit odd there, but he doesn't really get punished for it. And Fezaru looking a little bit lost here, not really able to get any hits, and the greatsword 3-piece is going to take him off the top with the 2-stock.
Yep, Skeldra just gonna be making the adaptations necessary to take game 3 here, going into game 4 with a 2-1 lead. Now Fezaru on his winner side game. He needs to win the next 2 games if he wants to guarantee himself a top 4 position in this tournament.
Yeah, Skeldra showing us some phenomenal greatsword gameplay. Many people don't play this weapon, and I don't know why, because it seems really fun, and I also think it's pretty decent. It's definitely performing here. But we're starting off game 3 in Miami Dome again. Shockingly. Skeldra had the weapon, but he threw it away. Fezaru on the hammer, though. And we saw what happened last time. He almost catches the dodge there. The side light and the side sig. Wow, the ground pound barely misses. He gets blocked by the stage. Another side sig coming out. I think that's the first 2 times he's used that sig in the set. So it's shocking he's using it that much now. Game is
I'm
pretty much
pretty sure
even
he
here.
also used it on the right side of the platform earlier in game 2
Oh,
for in a KO'd Skeldra zone. I think Skeldra's been scouting that a lot more now.
I see. I didn't even notice. Skeldra punishing the dodge in there. Great sword recovery, almost taking Fezaru off the top. He goes for the weapon throw into GCD light again, just keeping his opponent disarmed with a weapon starve so that he can get the KO. But Fezaru makes it back with a double recovery, and he punishes the bow recovery with a nair. And he has a slight lead here. He needs to extend this as much as he can before he loses his first stock.
Fezaru just gonna be doing a little bit of dancing around Skeldra right now. Has the hammer in hand, waiting for the most optimal punish. Gets the recovery, goes for the dare. Nobody home for that one though. Skeldra is still navigating pretty well around these hammers moves. Gets hit with a stare far off the left side of the stage, barely making it back with the threat of the recovery from Fezaru looming. Side light and then to the dare. Skeldra had no dodge, nowhere to go, and Fezaru's gonna be able to clean up that stock with minimal damage taken on his second.
Yeah, Fezaru has been pretty good at evening up these leads that Skeldra's taken, both in the last game and this one. But Skeldra getting the
Oh,
Nair sidelight into recovery. It seems like he's starting to get things going on the greatsword, but just as I say that, Fezaru is starting to get things going on the hammer. Maybe both of these players are finally starting to lock in. But Skeldra definitely winning the damage trade-off here. Fezaru's gonna have to stop going hit for hit as much if he wants to win this set.
yeah, Skeldra getting the exhausted recovery to finish off Fezaru's second stock. Fezaru on his last stock here, potentially his last stock in the set if he doesn't end Skeldra's 2 stocks right here.
Yeah, I mean, he closed out the lead pretty easily last time. I mean, right here we see he just evens up the game immediately with that hammer. We've pretty much seen no bow gameplay at all, which is shocking for Yumiko. I mean, I just was not expecting this, but Skeldra almost getting caught by the Insig there with no options left. That would have been tragic, but he makes it back to stage, able to get a few hits. Both players starting to get a little bit slower. Fezaru standing on the platforms, pretty much trying not to go out. He realizes what's at stake here. Kind of just baiting Skeldra out with his movement. Floating a little bit. Skeldra punishes the
No,
dodge
that's
though.
enough. I was telling you, he needs one read, and he just got the right amount of stage to go for that side light, D-light bridge into the side light finisher. If he had one less pixel on the stage, he wouldn't have been able to go for that read. He had to settle for a neutral light finisher. That one have KO'd, but the side light finisher being just enough to take that stock and give him the set win over Fezaru in a very gritty bout.